Good morning. My name is Clay Watson, and I'm the chair of the GPS Board of Trustees and a proud dad of two GPS seniors, Clayton and Kennedy Watson. On behalf of the board, it is my privilege to welcome each of you to the installation of our 10th head of school, Megan Cover. I was honored to have co-chaired the head of school search committee along with fellow board member Dr. Mary Tanner. Through that role, I got to know Megan as a candidate for a leader of our school and was able to witness firsthand on many occasions her passion for independent school education, as well as her desire to return to an all-girls environment, much like the one she experienced as a student at the Agnes Irwin School. I was chosen by the search committee to be the one to officially offer the position to Megan. As a career auto dealer, I must say this was one of the most important sales jobs I have ever had. When I offered the job to Megan, she was flattered and honored, but then requested time to think about it and talk it over with her family. See, in the car business, those dreaded words usually mean, thanks but no thanks, or we're going to shop around. Needless to say, I was worried by her response. But as you can see, she's here today, and she didn't say no. From the moment she said yes, Megan has been eager to get started in her new role as head of school. And now, as she completes her second month on campus, we are just as excited about the new era for GPS. With fresh ideas, new approaches to educating girls, and a willingness to build a positive, inclusive culture, Megan will lead this institution to the levels of success that we have yet to see. When Megan accepted our headship, she did not come alone. You'll be hearing from the Cover family in a bit, her husband Ted and her daughters Catherine, Margaret, and Sophie. Sophie and Margaret took a commitment along with their mother as they joined the class of 2023 as students. It is with deep appreciation and sincere gratitude that we welcome the Cover family to GPS and the Chattanooga community. Please join me in making them all feel at home here. Megan, on behalf of the board, we would like to present to you this special gift. Now I'd like to introduce Faculty Emerita Jane Henniger, who will offer our invocation.
Shall we pray? Dear Father, this is a Thanksgiving Day. We begin by looking back, not many years, not many miles away, to a Pennsylvania 7th grader named Megan, whose parents wanted to give the best they could give to their one and only child. So they gave her an all-girls education, and with it, a school full of sisters. The rest is history, and today, our shared history. And so, we look forward. Your generous love brought Megan Cover to us and brought to her every treasure of a life of a GPS girl. We rejoice with her over every single one. Yet as we pray, we are aware that around your beautiful broken world, many are praying in languages and with losses we cannot comprehend, and sometimes in whispers, because their speech is not free. Why, Lord? Our questions are many. And why, Lord, for our girls, the freedom, the gracious plenty, these teachers who serve them wisdom and not just knowledge, and who walk beside them as they seek answers? Well, you must have your reasons. Might you have a purpose for the young women in this room, that they turn their blessings into courage and compassion that will help mend the world? Yes. So will you guide there, Mrs. Cover, as she builds for them a nourishing nest a training ground, and a launching pad. In the nest, nourish their minds and hearts and their spirits to soar. On the field, train their intellectual muscles, not just their physical ones, to carry strength into their home, their vocations, and all their loves. Then launch them to live with a worldview that puts others as the subjects of their sentences, not mere objects. Now weave together these colorful threads of GPS girls, bind them to the wise ones who lead them, and secure them all with the unbreakable cord of your love. I offer this prayer in Jesus' name with a thankful and hopeful Amen.
Good morning. My name is Janice Gordon, and I have the honor and privilege of being the head of the upper school here at GPS. And I'm excited about Megan Cover being our new head of school for a multitude of reasons, but probably the one that is most important to me is that we have a passion for student voice and student agency. So it was no surprise to any of us that Megan wanted this installation ceremony to involve a tremendous amount of student voice. So you will now hear from two student speakers, 8th grader Alex Brumley, class of 2026, and senior Francis Crow, class of 2022. And immediately following those two speeches, you will hear from 3 members of the GPS Singers, led by Mike Lees.
Good morning. My name is Alex Brumley, and I am an 8th grader at GPS. In my 2 years at GPS, I have tried new things and worked hard in my sports and activities. I compete on the diving team, lacrosse team, and dance and motion makers. I have grown to love all the GPS traditions, such as opening assembly on the first day of school. When I was a 6th grader, on the first day of school, I felt so nervous and scared about entering middle school. But when everyone was so welcoming as we walked in front of the school, it made my nerves go away and I knew I was where I was meant to be. Now, as an 8th grader, I love seeing the new 6th graders walk in front of the school last week at opening assembly because it reminded me of how I felt on my first day at GPS. Cat Rat is one of my other favorite traditions. Having a senior guide me through my first year at GPS was such an amazing experience. It instantly made me feel like I was a part of the GPS community. I loved how the seniors decorated our lockers and gave us goodies to make us feel welcomed. Knowing how much fun it was to have a senior cat, I am already looking forward to being a senior and having my very own rat. Without a doubt, May Day is one of our most anticipated days of the year. After COVID kept us from attending May Day my 6th grade year, we were eager to be a part of the celebration last year, and it was just as amazing as I expected. Seeing all the seniors in their dresses, we got to honor them and celebrate GPS. It was so cool to see all the dancers perform and girls wrap the maypoles. It was so much fun to see how pretty the May Queen was and watch her as she waved to everyone. I can't wait to be a part of the celebration this year. With all of that being said, I am honored to be helping welcome Mrs. Cover to the GPS community. I am very excited to get to know you and for you to get to know GPS. I am looking forward to having you continue these traditions, and I hope your experience will be as rich and wonderful as mine. Thank you, and welcome to GPS, Mrs. Cover.
Hi, my name is Francis Crow, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak to you all today. More often than not, when you talk to a GPS girl about what she loves about our school, you hear about the community that exists among us. You hear about how we find unity in the fact that thousands before us have walked the same steps and undergone the same school traditions that we have. You hear about our sisterhood, full of current students and alumni, and how far it spans both within our school directly and across the globe. There is a place for every person at our school because GPS unites all of our individual, unique identities under the common thread of being a GPS girl. GPS is such a special place because it fosters strong connections between students, faculty, and beyond. This school year, the senior class chose the theme Building Bridges, which perfectly embodies our drive to build lasting relationships that every member of our school possesses. One of the first remarks Ms. Cover made to the senior class was how struck she was by the deep generational love that runs through our school. As she embarks on this new journey as our head of school, I know the student body has high hopes for her to continue to expand and cultivate the community that we have. We hope she encourages the loving support that we have at our school, whether that be the support that teachers have for their students, that students have for each other, or that alumni have for students. Beyond that, we know that Ms. Cover brings with her a fresh, new perspective, which is another crucial component of our theme. Just as you can view a bridge from one side or the other, from looking below it or looking down from it, Ms. Cover will bring with her a multiplicity of fresh perspectives from her own personal experiences, and I can't wait to see how our school will evolve as she leaves her own mark. Thank you.
Sound of hope, a sound of peace, a sound that celebrates and speaks what we believe, a sound of love, a sound so strong. It's amazing what is given when we share a song. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice, why we stand as one in harmony. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice. Take my hand and sing with me. Soothe the soul, and a heart. Bring together lives that have been torn apart. Share the joy. Find a friend. It's a never-ending gift that circles back again. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice, why we stand as one in harmony. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice. Take my hand and sing
That's a tough act to follow. Thank you, girls. Good morning. I'm Ted Cover. I am Megan Cover's husband. Welcome and thank you for being here. Thank you to old friends who have traveled so far and to new friends who have been so welcoming and supportive of the entire Cover family. And to those watching live stream from many locations. Hello, Mom. Thank you all so much for being and contributing to this special occasion. I could go on for a long time about Megan's grace, commitment, energy, wisdom, kindness, and love. But I'll leave that to more capable people who, frankly, are not quite as biased. So my job today will be to introduce some extraordinary people who will share some remarks with you about Megan. First up will be Michelle Shepard. Her credentials are impressive and her accomplishments are numerous. Veteran of the financial services industry, she served at Bank of America as the company's East Division executive, managing 2,400 locations and over 25,000 associates. Michelle served as the chair of the Board of Trustees at Tower Hill School. She is always engaged and interested in the contributions and aspirations of others. Michelle took an early interest in Megan's involvement at Tower Hill as a fellow parent, and later as trustee and board chair. She is understanding and kind, and like Megan, Michelle's interest is always focused on what is right for the school and ultimately the students. Next will be Andrea Glowatz. It wasn't long after Andrea joined Tower Hill School that I started to hear Megan speak about her contributions. She implemented an innovative new model to provide supplemental support to students in a broad range of subjects. Andrea has been in education and administration for 23 years and has served as Dean of Teaching and Learning since 2017. Andrea has an unbridled commitment to her role and has always supported her program with the goal of helping students to grow and learn. Next would be my three daughters, Margaret, Sophie, and Catherine. I spent a lot of time with Margaret as I was the gymnastics dad and she the gymnast. In addition to her strength and ability, she put in the time, commitment, more time, determination, more time, competitive spirit, and still more time. In crunch time, you're likely to see her focused face, and when you do, she always delivers with grace. And Sophie, diligent and responsible, thoughtful and considerate, persistent and willing to go the extra mile, always positive and never afraid, a technology wizard with the voice of an angel, so loving and sweet. And Catherine, the textbook oldest, bold and deliberate, a sense of humor and wit that has resulted in many of my friends preferring to spend time with her over me. And it has become increasingly apparent that she is much smarter than I. So with that, I'll welcome Michelle Shepard.
Well, good morning, and thank you very much, Ted. That was very nice. So when Megan asked if I would be interested in speaking at her installation ceremony, I knew I wanted to. And I also knew that I really wanted to understand what GPS was all about. I had heard about it through a search process. And because it's a small world, it turns out that I have a friend in Delaware who has family in the GPS community. So I want to thank Lauren Bohm and Claire McVeigh, who spent time helping me to get to know what GPS was all about. And I have really enjoyed getting to know this very, very special place. You see, it is so familiar to me. I grew up in Baltimore. I also went to an all-girls school, grades 6 through 12. And so many of your traditions bring back amazing memories. We had class colors. Now at our school, we were able to select our colors. And in 1980, we selected hot pink and Kelly green. That was very preppy at the time, but it's a little jarring when we go to our reunions right now. We had a buddy system, much like your cat-rat system, and junior ring day. For us, complete with 184 turns of the ring. And our rings are onyx and gold, and they look a lot like yours. So it's been uncanny. Perhaps where we differed was the uniforms. I mean, I just love the fact that you girls can wake up every morning and figure out how you're going to express yourself through the color of your uniform. We were only allowed to adorn our navy blue and white smocks with a colorful hair ribbon, and that was it. You know, I left high school nearly 40 years ago, but these feelings, these memories I have are still so vivid. And I may be overreaching a bit here, but I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't have that same strength of feeling if I had gone to a co-ed school. I think girls' schools are just very special and unique places. There's this sisterhood that not just crosses your class years, but crosses generations. And there's this shared and common experience. And somehow, some way, as these schools adapt and innovate, that sisterhood and that shared experience endures. You know, it's evident that teaching and learning at GPS with your maker spaces and your interdisciplinary projects and your focus on STEM, it's not the same as it was even 10 years ago, much less 40. But I bet that the spirit of GPS is as strong for you here today as it was for Mrs. McVeigh when she was a student. So my opinion that schools like GPS are a gift and they've got to be treasured. But you know, I've been around schools for a long time and I know that it's not really easy to preserve like tradition and spirit when schools are trying to advance and adapt. And it really takes a special kind of leader to do that. And I am confident that Megan Cover is that leader. And I really want to talk to you girls about why I think that is. You know, I have known Mrs. Cover for 15 years, both as a mother, I have 2 teen daughters myself, and as a school leader. You know, as has been mentioned, Megan is a product of a girls' school. She understands that girls' schools inspire leadership, and that more female leadership really benefits all of us. I think she's a fine example of that herself. Even at Tower Hill School, which is a co-ed school, she ensured that it was never implied that a student couldn't do something just because of her gender. She really advanced the leadership of girls and helped girls understand the difference that it can make, not only in their schools, but in their communities. As a mother, as a mentor, as a manager, she teaches girls and women that supporting each other, collaborating rather than competing, really helps create a healthier, stronger, and a more just world. Mrs. Cover also understands that GPS is your place to build your confidence and your agency. I suspect that there's really no other setting where you have the same opportunities that you have here. With Mrs. Cover, there's going to be no expectation about what you should be like or ways you should excel. She'll have no stereotypes. She's not going to pressure you to fit in one way or another. She will create an environment where you're free to try new things. And you're going to fail sometimes. But you can make mistakes without fear because Mrs. Cover, I am sure, is going to meet you where you are. You know, I think we should all be thankful for women like Tommy Payne Duffy and Eulalie Jarnigan and Grace McCauley. Women who didn't think it was such a crazy idea that girls should have the same opportunities as boys. And for the past 115 years, GPS teachers and administrators, parents and trustees have been thinking about what's currently acceptable for you, thinking about what could be for you and for the girls who have gone before you. Mrs. Cover is the right leader to continue that legacy. She's going to ask you only to be who you are. She'll give you a place to grow, to become fully yourself, to explore your voice, and really to feel comfortable in your own skin. Put simply, I trust that Mrs. Cover is going to know you and she's going to hear you. So I am so pleased to be able to be here today to congratulate Megan Cover on her installation as your 10th head of school. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle Shepard. And my heartfelt gratitude to each of you who has gathered today for this important event in the history of Girls Preparatory School. When Megan Cover accepted the position as your new head of school, I, of course, extended sincere congratulations to her. My remarks this morning will be congratulatory as well, but my commendations right now go to all of you for selecting Megan Cover to be your leader. In the next few minutes, I, as someone who has worked closely with Megan Cover over the last 5 years, will explain why congratulations to you are in order. Nearly a year ago, as you were in the throes of your search for Megan Cover, I had the pleasure of speaking with trustee Ben Vance. Mr. Vance asked me about Mrs. Cover's strengths, leadership, programmatic impact, and decision-making style, among other topics. And to round off our conversation after speaking so seriously about Megan's exemplary qualities and qualifications, Mr. Vance asked me to share something about Megan Cover that her resume and interviews might not reveal. So, I told Mr. Vance about Mrs. Cover's proclivity for top 40 music. And perhaps that's why, when Megan Cover signed on with Girls Preparatory School last fall, she returned to Wilmington, Delaware, and proudly displayed a gift from your school in her office, a Dolly Parton votive candle. Now, Ms. Dolly Parton, a hardworking, talented, motivated woman, would remind us all that the important work done in schools is not a 9-to-5 gig. In the spirit of Ms. Parton, tapping into her effervescence and playfulness, I'd like to honor and tell you about Megan Cover with reference to some other top 40 vocalists. If you're wondering about Mrs. Cover's true colors, they shine through, beautiful like a rainbow, in all the work that she does. I know Megan Cover to be an organized problem solver who lifts others up. Her warmth, compassion, sense of humor, and general care for others make it easy to understand why so many trust and admire her. Mrs. Cover embraces all the work she does in schools thoroughly, incisively, and enthusiastically. I think you know this already. I want to let you know how rare it is to meet an educator who is so dedicated to the entire community. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and Megan Cover will be there. Students, maybe you could identify Cyndi Lauper in that earlier True Colors comment. If not Cyndi Lauper, then maybe Anna Kendrick's remake of the song with JT. The other lyrics, the winter, spring, summer, fall lyrics, are from an older song. Does anyone know the singer-songwriter? Call it out, we're not in school. That would be Carole King, nice job, 1971. Perhaps the most outstanding quality Megan possesses is her humility, which is underscored by the warmth and undivided attention she gives to personal interactions. This is how Mrs. Cover creates an atmosphere where hard work, camaraderie, and excellence are perfectly entwined. It will not take long for this community to see that Mrs. Cover is simply the best, better than all the rest. Anybody? Tina Turner, all right. As critical as all of Mrs. Cover's qualities are to a school like GPS, they are little without the kind-heartedness, generosity of spirit, and RESPECT Mrs. Cover has for students, teachers, parents, and community members alike. Would anyone like to identify the illusion here? Aretha Franklin, yes. 1967. And finally, to the parents in the audience, Megan Cover knows that your girls will be someone someday, but she already knows that your girls are already someone's right now. That's an important distinction. Megan is deeply committed to nurturing women's strengths, showing them the beauty they possess inside, helping them realize that learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. Who flawlessly sang those beautiful words? Whitney Houston. Megan, those of us back in Delaware are lamenting the fact that you're so far away. Doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? Yes, that's Carole King again. But the indelible marks you left on our school and our lives make our hearts sing, and we are thrilled to think of the countless ways you will impact GPS. In case it wasn't obvious, all of my references to top 40 tunes were popular singles released and made famous by female vocalists. Here's to the girls. Here's to every girl. Here's to this girl, Megan Cover. And here's to the entire GPS community. Pink would say, just come on and raise your glass. Once again, congratulations to you, Girls Preparatory School, for naming Megan Cover the 10th head of school. And congratulations to Megan Cover, who will lead this strong institution in the very best way, by example.
Hold on, okay. For as long as I can remember, I have gone to school with my mom. And for about just as long, I've gotten the same question 1,000 times. What's it like having your mom work at your school? Many people think it's embarrassing to have a parent working at their school, and I understand why they think that. But frankly, it never really bothered me. Instead of being embarrassed to see my mom in the hallways and run for cover into whatever vacant classroom I saw, I could always count on my mom to say hi to me in the hallways, supply snacks whenever I was low on energy, or give me advice whenever I needed it. I never worried about going to school because I knew she was always there for me if I needed her. But the more time that I spent in school with her, the more I realized that I was not special in being able to have someone in my corner, always there to support me. I realized that she was all of those things to her own students. My mom never stopped sharing her wisdom, love, and heart with not only me, but all of her students. I'm so proud to see how my mom's love for teaching and open heart have led her to GPS, where she can now create an environment where every girl can feel like she has someone there for them in their corner.
There are many words I can use to describe my mom, such as an achiever and an inspiration. However, these words are too dull when it comes to describing my mom and how hard she works. I believe that the quote said by the one and only Hannah Montana, "Life's a climb, but the view is great," is one of the best sayings to characterize my mom's passion for her job. While that climb might not be over yet, my mom has shown that hard work and determination only makes the view better. She began as a French teacher, became the department chair, dean of students, head of the upper school, and is now head of school. That's a climb, but as I look around now, your view isn't just great, it's amazing. Throughout your ascent up the mountain, you have gone through many experiences that have helped you learn and grow, creating the strong and intelligent woman you are today. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited to see how much further you can climb here.
My mother has never been one to enjoy television. This all changed in December of 2019 when my mother was introduced to the show The Marvelous Miss Maisel. For those of you who are not familiar with this television show, it follows Midge, a recently separated woman, who is catapulted into the 1960s comedy industry after mistakenly stumbling onto stage one night and performing a comedy routine. As I noticed my mother actually watching TV for a change, I thought to myself, what is it about this show that stands out? As I thought about it, one of my favorite elements came to mind: Midge's spunk. The viewer quickly recognizes Midge's determination in her career just as much as her talent, as she must navigate the male-dominated comedy industry. Moxie is the best word I can use to describe my mother. While one may look at talent through academic achievements and leadership positions, the talent that stands out to me most about my mother is her grit. When COVID first hit, many seniors' final celebrations were cut short. My mother refused to let a global pandemic stop seniors from being celebrated. She stacked our car full with congratulatory signs, and we set off. 18 hours, 4 states, and 75 signs later, all of which she delivered to each student while dancing to Chris Brown's Forever, we finished. I still cannot listen to that song today. As I'm sure many of you can attest, everyone had signs out front celebrating their senior last year, but I'm not sure how many signs had a dance party included with it. While her grit has been apparent through her achievements, I am always reminded of this small but thoughtful act in showing the determination of her character in creating belonging and happiness for those around her. My mother is one of the spunkiest people I've known, whether that be professionally through her dedication to her students or her everyday life in her love for adventure. She always stands tall and stays true to her character. I am so proud of everything you have accomplished, and I am so excited to see you take that microphone, step into the spotlight, and start your own show. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Shepard, Mrs. Glowatz, Mr. Cover, Catherine, Margaret, and Sophie, for your kind words and your introduction today. I am blessed to have such a supportive and caring network of family and friends. Thank you to all who made this event and this day possible. Would you please stand so you can be recognized? Stand. There's that humility again. Good morning, students, faculty, staff, trustees, families, members of the search committee, alumni, friends, former colleagues, heads of school, college and university deans, and those in our wider GPS community who might be watching via our live stream. Welcome to a new chapter in the history of Girls Preparatory School. 116 years ago, our 3 founders opened the doors of GPS to 45 students in Miss McCauley's home on Oak Street. These daring school teachers had a shared vision and an earnest mission of wanting to provide opportunities for girls to pursue higher education and personal fulfillment that were otherwise unavailable to them. In their nascent program, they not only cared about a girl's academic and physical well-being, but also her character, leading to a focus on the well-rounded student. As your 10th head of school, I am honored to uphold the legacy of Mrs. Duffy, Jarnigan, and McCauley, and the mission of GPS, to prepare young women to live lives of integrity and purpose. In a world that is doing its best to test our honor, our bravery, our kindness, and our civility, the foresight, courage, and innovation of our founders is notable. Their vision for girls remains as relevant and essential today as it did over a century ago. I salute our past heads of school, whose shoes I humbly fill today, and am grateful for their service. I have been fortunate to spend my life in independent schools, first as a student, then as a teacher, administrator, and a parent. What I valued in my youth in these schools remains with me as an adult: a community united by a shared mission to best serve students in mind, body, and spirit. This is one of the first things I discovered about GPS through conversations with its community members, and later through campus visits. the genuine love, pride, and appreciation for this magical place, which made me want to experience more. When I arrived in Chattanooga this summer, I established my new routine and route to work. Each day, I walked onto DeFore patio. My eye was drawn to a certain sculpture of 4 women beside a fountain, reaching their hands high towards the sky. I later learned from our resident GPS historian, Catherine Betts, that this artwork, the Naiads, was given to the school because it perfectly encapsulated the essence of GPS. What an embodiment of our true north, to lift up each girl so she can reach and exceed her exquisite and unique potential. This sculpture made me consider, what is the essence of GPS? I feel it from afar when I am on campus or when I talk to a student or an alumna. It is not only present in our environment, but it lies innately in each girl who attends this school. It is her heart and her soul. It is her humility, sincerity, honesty, and grace. It is her drive, resilience, growth, and achievement. It is her spirit, her intellect, and her kindness. It is her strength, her purpose, and her voice. This ethos has been cultivated by a strong community that values integrity and authenticity. This culture empowers each girl to be herself, to use her voice while upholding the values of honor, respect, curiosity, individuality, and relationships in Chattanooga and the world beyond. These pillars create a scaffolding that shapes a community to celebrate her individual gifts and talents. Within this community, she can find her place through the deep bonds of sisterhood shared throughout generations of women who treasure and value the GPS experience. GPS has navigated history for more than a century, staying true to its mission of shepherding young women throughout 2 world wars, a depression, recession, civil rights movements, political turmoil, and most recently, a global pandemic. While adapting with the times, GPS remains a constant in girls' lives, providing excellent in academics, arts, athletic, and character and leadership development to prepare them for full engagement within a dynamic and rapidly changing world. Our schools are also ever evolving as we discover new methods of teaching and learning and how to best serve our youth moving forward. Schools are imperfect, yet hopeful, full of joy, and the promise of a reset, a new direction, a new path, a new school year, and a new beginning. So let's ask ourselves, what lies ahead for GPS? Our seniors set the tone for the year with the theme of building bridges. This powerful and thoughtful motif reminds us that we are all united by our GPS experience. Our differences and similarities connect us as we celebrate our shared humanity, supporting each community member while knowing we are accepted and belong to the GPS sisterhood. So let's dream big, let's be bold. Let's be innovators and visionaries like Mrs. Jarnigan, Duffy, and Macaulay. In this next chapter, as we engage our students' minds, cultivate their strengths, and nurture their self-confidence and respect for others, we will celebrate our community and connection. We will be both retrospective and innovative to ensure we best prepare our girls for success and achievement beyond the classroom. We will hold true to our values in focusing on an authentic culture of belonging and acceptance that will nurture and lift up each girl so she can find her place and discover her potential with confidence and joy. We will encourage girls to be curious and offer ample opportunities for them to explore and hone their abilities to problem solve and think critically. We will commit to meaningful learning for each girl, igniting her passions and sparking her interests. As a student, I was someone who always found my place or home at school. I considered my classmates and teachers like family, and as I moved to the other side of the desk as an educator, my colleagues and students, whether they knew it or not, joined my extended family. As an educator, mother of daughters, and an alumna of an all-girls school, I was drawn to GPS because of its essence, its commitment to holistically educate each girl within a supportive and inclusive community. Now, along with my husband and my 3 daughters, I am privileged to join the GPS family as together we embark on this new chapter in the school's history. This year, we will bridge our past with our present as we partner to provide a fulfilling experience for our girls in a place they can always call home. Thank you for the warmest of welcomes. The Covers are proud to call GPS and Chattanooga home. Here's to New Beginning, and here's to the girls.
My name is Olivia Burns, chairwoman of the senior class. Today, a representative from each class is presenting Ms. Cover with a flower that has been specially selected for the centerpiece on stage. On behalf of the senior class, I would like to present to you a snapdragon, which represents grace and strength.
My name is Annabelle Wilson, and on behalf of the junior class, I would like to present to you a clematis, which represents wisdom and ingenuity.
My name is Holly Beal, and on behalf of the sophomore class, I would like to present to you a calla lily, which represents overcoming challenges.
My name is Eliana Tabibiazar, and on behalf of the freshman class, I would like to present you a Lysianthus, which represents gratitude and appreciation.
My name is Ella Wiley, and on behalf of the 8th grade class, I would like to present to you a jasmine, which represents faithfulness and good luck.
My name is Eva Caroline Armstrong, and on behalf of the 7th grade class, I'd like to present to you a rose, which represents love.
My name is London Busby, and on behalf of the 6th grade class, I would like to present you a larkspur, which represents happiness and joy. Now please welcome Miss Mack, who will offer our benediction.
Thank you, girls, for that lovely presentation. Thank you as well to everyone who has joined us here today. We would like to invite all of our guests to a reception on the DeFore patio immediately following the program. Please stand and join me in the benediction. As we draw to an end today, I ask you to take a moment to pause and open your heart to gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to gather together in body and in spirit to welcome our new head of school, Megan Cover, and bestow our gifts upon her. Gratitude for our girls, their laughter, their smiles, their open minds, and their kind hearts. Gratitude for our faculty and staff who bless us with their deep wisdom, their immeasurable generosity, and their helping hands. And gratitude for our community of family and friends who celebrate this exciting new chapter with us. Amen. I'd like to close us with a poem from Ralph Waldo Emerson, who I know is one of Megan's favorites. This is my wish for you. Comfort on difficult days, smiles when sadness intrudes, rainbows to follow the clouds, laughter to kiss your lips, sunsets to warm your heart, hugs when spirits sag, beauty for your eyes to see, friendships to brighten your being, faith so that you can believe, confidence for when you doubt, courage to know yourself, patience to accept the truth, love to complete your life. I now ask everyone to join us in the singing of the Alma Mater and GPS, We Love Extol Thee. The words to these school songs can be found in your program.